Yo, what's good, family? Shout out to my doggy Sheddy for coming through and boosting up your man the YB coin, no doubt. So, listen, UK boxing has been a bit dead, but this is, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's not a McGregor versus Mayweather, it's not a McGregor versus Pacquiao, sorry, a Mayweather Pacquiao, but as far as real hardcore boxing goes, I like this one still. Richard Riakporhe is eager to clap Mr. Lawrence McDonald's cheeks. Here's the quote, and I ain't gonna lie to you, Riakporhe, he airing out Mr. Okolie, and rightfully so. Here's the quotes. That fight would have happened. Riakporhe has wanted to face Okolie for some time, even before his countryman captured a world title. That fight would have happened a long time ago if they were ready, but clearly they weren't. Wow! My resume now just shows what type of fighter I am. We've run through most of the division. I'm confident, comfortable in front of certain fighters, no matter how dangerous they are. I believe in myself, I believe in my power, so I'm in that position now, mentally and physically. I'm ready for a challenge, I'm ready for a test. He added, that's one thing I feel I've brought to the game. I'm not scared to lose, like Mr. Okolie. I'm not scared to take on a challenge, and I think that's what boxing's about. And we're getting to the point where we're kind of straying away from that old school boxing mentality. Salute Mr. Riakporhe. Just jump in the ring and fight. It's a fight. May the best man win, instead of a lot of people are trying to protect their record and protect their ass from flapping. I do know if I land on Mr. Okolie's suspect whiskers, he will be in trouble. It's my heart, it's my will, it's the adversities that I had to overcome to get where I am now. That's what you should be more worried about, not the punch power, because you can't train for that. I know what I possess, and that's why they're not too keen on jumping in the ring with me. These guys are not on my level, that's the truth. I will roll them up into a nice juicy blunt and smoke on them. I will smoke on that Okolie pack. Honestly, I'm very serious about that. There you go then, we just heard there from Mr. Riakporhe. He airing out Lawrence Okolie, and rightfully so. One thing must be said right now, no one's looking to squabble with Okolie. And I get it, he's 6'6", he's gangly, and he's boring. Yeah? No, who want that style? And it's a hard style to beat. It's so boring, it's hard to beat. It's one of them ones. It's a bit like Floyd Mayweather in that regard. Floyd Mayweather's more skillful, but still. It's that kind of Tyson Fury style, to some extent. The old Tyson Fury style. Hard to beat, but bore you to tears. Yeah, put everyone to sleep. That's your man, Okolie. Right now, no one wants to fight Okolie for that reason. I know Riakporhe hasn't got a belt, so from Okolie's point of view, he's thinking, well, it doesn't do me any favours. So I understand, there's no way Okolie going to want this one. The good news is, Riakporhe, I believe Riakporhe is on Sky still. Is he on Sky? I think he's on Sky. That makes sense then, because Okolie is going to be going to Sky after his next fight with Eddie, his last fight with Eddie. Riakporhe, Okolie, if Ben Shalom makes that fight, I'm going to salute Ben. This will be really one of the first hardcore boxing fights in a long time. And unfortunately, it's not going to get the fanfare. He'll get a decent amount, but it's not going to get the Mayweather Pacquiao kind of fanfare. But listen, like Riakporhe said, a lot of these guys, they want to get the Mayweather Pacquiao success without putting in the underlying foundations. These are the kind of fights. Riakporhe versus Okolie, when you win that fight, that's the kind of one that catapults you. these guys today, when you look around at people like Billy Joe, and give me the win. What win has Billy Joe had that was able to catapult him? Yeah, he's made a whole bunch of money, but he's never had no real headline wins. The winner of Riakporhe and Okolie, that is a headline win. That is a hardcore win. I'm sorry, but for me, the winner of that fight, that win there will mean something on their resume, even when they retire. Do you understand? Let's say Riakporhe beats Okolie. In 20 or 10 years from now, when Riakporhe retires, that name will mean something. And vice versa, I believe. So why not do it? We just don't get them top, and it's not a top level world fight, but we don't get them ones. And yeah, you can say Okolie's a world champion, but he's not really, is he? I mean, yes, he's got a belt, but he's not. I mean, no one, I'm going to be honest with you, no one, even Usyk, no one at the cruiserweight division would I consider a proper world champion, in as much as world champion, in my mind, is more than just a belt. World champion, it comes with that fanfare, if you get what I'm saying. There's a lot of people in this sport today who have belts, but they ain't real champions. Ain't no one checking for them. Unfortunately, it was the same with Usyk. Usyk had 4 belts. I wouldn't really consider him a world champion, because who he beat. In my mind, to become world champion, you have to have some proper name on there. Usyk ain't got no name on there. He just ain't. Yeah, he beat a load of the random ass cruiserweights, and that's what I was saying for a long time. Usyk versus Okolie, for me, that would have been the fight to see at cruiserweight. Usyk versus Okolie, the winner of that would be the name. Because those for me are the best 2 talents in the last 10 years at cruiserweight. Okolie and Usyk. Usyk's got the skills, Okolie's got the bore you to tears style, awkward style. Put them together, that there is a legacy win. Do you understand? And this for me, Riakporhe versus Okolie, is similar. A legacy win. Both men have got power. Both men should really want it. They're both from London, I believe. Yeah, trying to get scrappy. Or the whole postcode thing. Riakporhe trying to get postcodey with Okolie. No doubt Okolie going to be saying, oh man, you know, he's small fry. Listen, Okolie, you ain't in a position. I know you think you're big dog. You ain't big dog. Bottom line, yeah, you got a belt. Yeah, you nicked a belt off some bum. But you ain't no real champion like that. You ain't got it like that yet. You just ain't. I'm sorry. You just ain't that guy. Bottom line. And this is the fight. You know, it might not make no sense economically, and that's why I say I'll salute Ben Shalong if he can get this done. Because this really is. Oh, we want to see it. How often at cruiserweight, or any weight really, do we get to see 2 men with knockout power? And also I believe Riakporhe, and not Okolie, he find a way to get it done. Okolie really doesn't. Okolie finds a way to spoil the fight. Riakporhe finds a way to take your head off. Do you understand? He's got more. I feel like Riakporhe got more potential. Yes, Okolie's going to be harder to beat, I feel, but still, in terms of potential, Riakporhe, he want to knock your head off. Okolie, he want to hug you to death. Yeah? Let's put them in the ring together. And unfortunately, though, do I think this fight will happen? No, I don't. It's boxing. It's 2022. This fight won't happen. Instead, we'll get Riakporhe versus some more bums, and we'll get Okolie versus some more bums. That's what we're going to get, facts. And to be honest with you, this fight for me is better than any other unification fight. And that's what I mean when I say, I don't care about, how many of you, man, care about Okolie versus Makabu? We know how that's going to go. The only fight, or even Okolie versus the other guy. What's the guy, I forgot his name, but the other cruiserweight champion. I believe Riakporhe is the hardest fight for Okolie at cruiserweight. I don't think it's the other guys. Not Dorticus. Either way, there's a few of them ones knocking around. One of them was begging Jake Paul for a fight. The guy's name's gone again, but either way, one of them, the top one, he was begging Jake Paul for a fight. Yeah, awkward as you like. I guarantee, in my opinion, Riakporhe and Okolie beat all of the current world champions in my book. That's why Okolie versus Riakporhe makes sense. Now, maybe the question is, why hasn't Riakporhe worked himself into a position for World Championship mandatory shot yet? That might be a valuable question. There's 3 belts. Is he near? I'm not even sure. I haven't really looked, but is he near there? I'd like to think he is. And if he's not, why isn't he? Because one possible way to force it is to become mandatory for Okolie, or become mandatory for one of the other belts, and then you can do a big unification. Now, obviously, as a selfish fan, I want to see the fight now, but I understand the business move behind Riakporhe getting a belt first. And in my opinion, there's a lot weaker champions out there. I'm not against that, but it needs to be done quickly. Why can't Riakporhe, why can't Ben Shalom get his checkbook out and put some money up for Riakporhe versus Makabu or whoever? Bearing in mind, it's an investment. You can be pretty confident. You know what? Yes, I have to overpay Makabu, but we're essentially buying his belt. We overpay Makabu, and then boom. We've now got Riakporhe on the Sky platform, who's a world champion. And we can now build the Okolie versus Riakporhe unification. And maybe, who even knows, a year or 2 down the line, it could even end up being a kind of Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford kind of setup. If both men can get 2 belts each, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'll be thinking right now. Don't get me wrong. If they can get it, if they can put the fight on now, I'm there for it. I don't really care about seeing more belts or whatever, but realistically, because of the business, it's going to be more likely to happen when both men have a belt. So the question is, Ben Shalom need to set that up ASAP. And listen, quite honestly, if Riakporhe ends up losing to one of these champions like Makabu, then he won't go and do nothing anyway. So it is a good filtering system. But then again, apparently Okolie looking to move up soon, so you just don't know, man. And that will sum it up for me. I won't be surprised to see Okolie knocking around some more, fighting some more bums, and then moving up. That's how things go these days. People get a belt, people like Billy Joe win a belt, haven't beat no one, and just end up in a big massive fight out of nowhere. And that's in a way why I'm glad that Tyson Fury and AJ are nearly done, because for the heavyweight division, once AJ and Fury are gone, there's going to be no mega paydays. There's going to be no $10 million paydays just for turning up. People are going to have to actually go back and start really making their value by beating the best ones. At the moment, everyone just has to sit back and think, I'll sit back. People like Pulev, I'll sit back and just rock up for an AJ mandatory and get 10 mil. It's madness. It's not been good for the sport, in my opinion. Bunch of old dudes in the sport. Pulev, Povetkin, all them ones that's knocking around the place. No good. It's been no good for the sport. AJ just whooped on a whole bunch of old dudes. No good. And even people like Dillian White. Fury just smoked Dillian White. What was that about? What good did Dillian White bring? Nothing. Overpaid bums. So when Fury and AJ are gone, finally, we'll get back to substance. People like Joyce, Okolie, all them proper quality names, but no big massive money value. They have to make their value in making the rock'em sock'em fights, making them happen. No more sitting around just waiting for a lottery. But listen, man, salute to Riakporhe. If I was Riakporhe, I'd be airing out Okolie every day and pressuring him and saying, listen, are you scary or not? And he did say here, the fight would have happened, but they're scary. Oops. So you need to keep on that pressure publicly. Why not? You've got nothing to lose if you want it.